But I think the message that I'd really want to get out to everyone is that at every opportunity we need to come together. Ordinary dock workers, we all need to come together, whether we meet in a pub, whether we meet in a park, whether we meet on a football field. The important thing is that we need to bring our rank and file members together in any which way we can. Show them our strength, show them the power of solidarity, and then each and every port in this world can take a huge step forward together to defend ourselves and to obviously get huge improvements both for ourselves and for our industries, supporting our families and building global solidarity. Come together. Automation is definitely the number one challenge we're facing, and I think we've got to look at automation in every aspect, because but I also think about liberalisation. I think that hasn't gone away. We can still see like the large multinational employers, the large multinational shipping companies, they're still expanding. They're still pushing out into new areas, into new ports, into new kind of areas of shipping. I think that's something else that we've really got to keep our eye on this way. So this is about bringing ordinary dock workers together, getting them to meet one another, have a few drinks with one another, building that friendship and that solidarity. So that's really the first thing. And secondly, it's about a charity. So
okay, welcome, bienvenidos to the IDC Podcast on the waterfront, the podcast where we will know a little more about our stars, about our fights, about our people. And today, in this rainy day, we have invited our brother Andy Green, our European Zone Coordinator from IDC, and Chairman of the Executive Council of Unite, the union that represents more than 1.5 million workers on the UK. For me, it's very important to be here with Andy. As I mentioned, it's this rainy day in Tilbury, with an working class of our movement. Is my friend, my brother, and thank you for all what you have helped to me and to IDC to growing up to be this powerful organization. Good morning, Andy. Thanks for spending this time with us, and welcome to On the Waterfront.
And thanks for you for being here as well, Jordi. Absolute star. As our international coordinator, you do so much work, and we're really proud of you.
Thank you. Okay, let's talk a little about you. Could you explain us how you start on the docks, your beginning, please?
My beginning? Wow, I think I was 23 years old. I knew a friend who worked on the docks. Introduced me to some people. I managed to get a job, as I say, when I was still a young man. And that's kind of how I got into it. I've got no other family in the docks. I'm a first generation dock worker. So yeah, it's been 35 years now.
Wow, things have changed from there. So, and the threats and the challenges have changed too. So, could you explain what are your views of the big objectives that we have now to protect the dock workers? I mean, we have facing a big challenges like the automation and the ILA in that moments in the States, the egos and the envies of the people, also a lot of challenge. The big corporations are growing up. What do you think about which are the big challenges that we have in our sector?
Well, I think first of all, I'd say automation is definitely the number one challenge we're facing, and I think we've got to look at automation in every aspect, because I think we're all very well aware about containerisation, automated cranes, automated straddle carriers, and RTGs. But I think we've got to look at the smaller areas. So this could be automated gates, automated tallies, automated box tallies. I think these are the small areas. This is where it's going to start to creep in first, across all ports, before we get to the major automation. But I also think about liberalisation. I think that hasn't gone away. We can still see like the large multinational employers, the large multinational shipping companies, they're still expanding. They're still pushing out into new areas, into new ports, into new kind of areas of shipping. I think that's something else that we've really got to keep our eye on.
Yeah. Okay, we are in Tilbury, as I mentioned, in the UK, where today is the first international solidarity tournament of soccer. Yep. Explain us briefly which is the idea of this first Dennis Daggett Fuck Yeah Trophy.
Dennis Daggett Fuck Yeah Trophy. Well, it's got a number of aims, and I think that the two biggest, the first one, when we first organised the tournament, was going to be about bringing dock workers together. You know, it's about solidarity, about building the ordinary rank and file strength. So we've got dockers coming from Liverpool, Bristol, Southampton, London Gateway, one of the big agency worker groups as well, agency dock workers. We've got a football team from them. I think we've got 5 or 6 teams from Tilbury. Obviously we've got yourself playing, one of our stars, and 1P and the guys from Chile. Absolutely fantastic, they've come all this way. So this is about bringing ordinary dock workers together, getting them to meet one another, have a few drinks one another, building that friendship and that solidarity. So that's really the first thing. And secondly, it's about a charity. So the charity that we're going to be raising money for at this event is an organisation called Havens Hospices. So they provide end-of-life care, both for adults and for children who are kind of suffering from really kind of life-limiting illnesses. It's a really important charity. They've been struggling a lot for funding and for finance. So we're really, really pleased that today we can be here to help raise as much money as we can to help such an important charity.
Congratulations, Andy and Chris on organization of this beautiful tournament for us, for IDC as a dog workers organization. It was a mandate to be here, to be with all of you guys, and as you know, we will try to make all our efforts to get supports and efforts and resources to continue making year by year with all of you guys. And about that, who will you believe that will win this first tennis dagger trophy? I think that the Chilean guys are coming.
Chilean guys, I think, could be.
They asked me to run this morning and say, "What the fuck? You want to be running with me this morning?" So these guys
try you out.
Yeah, they were trying to fuck us. They cannot come from Chile to win our tournament.
Well, look, we've got you on our team. Yeah. You're one of our stars, so you're going to be up front in every game.
Yeah.
So maybe I don't know. I mean, we know a few of
the charity will win, I suppose.
The charity's always going to be. We know the guys from Bristol. We know they got some really good players, but I think they're drinking on the way down.
That's good.
So maybe not Bristol. Maybe Bristol will be drunk before we start. I hope so. I don't know. I think it's going to be an open tournament. But to be honest, I think as you've said, I don't care who wins. I think the important thing is us coming together, building that network, building that solidarity, supporting the charity.
Okay, speaking about IDC, which do you believe we should prepare the strategy for the dockers for the next year? So we are in a moment that we have a lot of challenges, as you mentioned, like automation. How we have to prepare to the next step of our organization?
Well, I think we have to grow our organisation and strengthen our organisation. So we're already 140,000 dock workers. I want to see 200,000. I want to see 250,000. And whether it's through events like this or through our regular meetings that we have as IDC, we've got to try and bring the rank and file together to show them their power. Because I think too often dock workers can be quite isolated in their own ports. I think our job is to show them what they need to do, bring them out of the ports, bring them together, and to show them the strength that they have. I think that's the most important thing we can do. And once they understand that strength, we can start acting together and exerting that power exactly where we need it.
100%. Okay, IDC was born in 2000. Next year will be 25 years. A real success project that was born after the Liverpool Dockers dispute. As you know, we will have in the future Tony Nelson and Terry Tick in the podcast, so we are preparing some good interviews also with them. Could you explain briefly what was the struggle of Liverpool? How was the situation in the 90s?
In the 90s, I was still a young dock worker then. At that point in time, Thatcher's laws had broken a lot of the unions. They'd broken the National Dock Union in the UK. It was illegal to organise inside a port. And I think what the Liverpool dock workers did back in the 90s, I think what they showed is that no matter the laws, no matter how bad the laws, they were still able to organise. They didn't care about the law. What they cared about was real working class solidarity. And I think that was that spark that ignited it, because even when their own union, even when other the international organisations that were meant to be there to help them, they all turned their back on those Liverpool dock workers. And I think that was the moment when dockers around the world had their eyes opened that dockers themselves could be just left out to dry by everyone, and the only people that were going to change that were going to be ordinary dock workers around the world. That, I think, for me, was the absolute instrumental moment for our organisation. All the dock workers come together from around the world to help provide that support. They help to sustain that support and sustain that strike, and I think that's what helped achieve that victory at the end for those dock workers. And I think that victory endures now. I think we still live that victory through the IDC today.
100%. Okay, just for finish, a couple of questions more. First, what do you believe about this podcast? It's a new history. This is the first record that we do, and it's a special place. We asked for a quiet place, and we put it in the middle of the field, in front of the matches of the tournament. So it's not the best scenario that we prepare. But what do you believe about the podcast? Do you like it's a way for report to the people to show which is our main challenge, our explaining? What do you think?
I think it is. Well, first of all, I think this is the perfect venue, right? Because this is what it's about. This is the venue where all dock workers are going to be coming together today. So I think it's perfect to show that's what we're doing.
It's not the preferred weather.
Yeah, outside. Okay, the sun's coming out. It stops raining, so it could be good. But look, I mean, podcast. This is now the way that things are done. You know, I'm of a generation that used to write a letter. I think today, this is the way forward. Podcast. It's easy for people to pick up. I think it'll be really, really good for us.
And last, Andy, do you want to send a message to all the dockers that are looking the podcast to say something to them, directly to the camera and address them?
Well, yes, I think if I was to say one thing is obviously, first of all, I'm glad you've listened to this podcast, but I think the message that I'd really want to get out to everyone is that at every opportunity we need to come together. Ordinary dock workers, we all need to come together, whether we meet in a pub, whether we meet in a park, whether we meet on a football field. The important thing is that we need to bring our rank and file members together in any which way we can, show them our strength, show them the power of solidarity, and then each and every port in this world can take a huge step forward together to defend ourselves and to obviously get huge improvements both for ourselves and for our industries, supporting our families and building global solidarity. Come together.
Wow. I think there are no better way to end this podcast today. Thank you, Andy, for us. As I mentioned at the beginning, it's a pleasure to be here, to be with you, to learn from you. You are this guy is the fucking boss. This is amazing. So
he's the man.
It's easy to ask him, hey, can you speak in front of the people, because he's doing, I think, the best oratory that I hear in my life is from this guy. So that's the end of the interview. Thanks, Andy, from Andy Williams Green. Thank you for everything from UK, from Tilbury, this beautiful place. So this is on the waterfront, the IDC Docker podcast, and we'll continue in the fight. We'll never walk alone.